Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're here in Waverly, Ohio with South 60 Films. I'm Marcus McPeck. My partner, Kevin Rao, is on his way up the steps as we speak, getting ready for tonight's action between Panther on Panther violence, if you will, between the new Lexington Lady Panthers and the Chesapeake Lady Panthers in this second round of the Division V playoffs. We should be in for an interesting night of action. These two teams are both coming in on decent win streaks. Yep.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome. Maybe you've been welcomed, I don't know,
They
but
have.
it's good to be with you tonight, Kevin Rao. And I'll get my breath after. This might be the highest we've ever been,
Yeah, it is very tall here. Here shortly, we're going to be going into an interview with Coach Board, setting up tonight's matchup.
Well, I'm going to let you call that, but what a nice place, first of all, here at Waverly.
This is a beautiful high school. I was surprised by how nice this high school is.
Well, you know what? When I was a broadcaster for the Chillicothe Paints back in the day, our home radio station was right here in Waverly, WXIO.
Is that so?
No, WXIZ. I'll get that right. Very close to WHIZ,
yes,
who I also work for. So it was I made that mistake constantly. Yeah. But anyway, it's good to be back in Waverly.
I don't know if I've ever been here.
You know, it's a great sports town. Yeah. And, obviously they've got a really nice high school and great facilities and so some really good people who were ardent Chillicothe Paints fans.
Yes. All right, let's get into this interview, and then we'll be right back with you guys.
I think the biggest thing was honestly just kids trying to take care of business. We have been really working to try to reduce errors, and I thought they did a really good job of that, of trying to reduce errors, keep our pace of the game, and so that is what stood out for me, because that's what's going to be beneficial for us as we go further along. So I would definitely say we went hard at practice on Monday and Tuesday, knowing that was going to be a little bit lighter. So I thought we got a lot out of practice this week. But honestly, it's whatever's thrown at you. You got to figure out how to handle it. And each year looks different. Last year our sectional final was against Circleville. It went 5 sets. Like, it was an insane game. So each year looks a little bit differently. But it's just kind of talking to your kids. This is what the game's going to give, and this is what we got to be prepared for and kind of handle. So one thing I'm watching on film, the biggest thing from them is they're a very good serving team. They average, I think, 4.1 aces per set. So that's a whole lot, and so that's going to be a big thing for us going into practice, is making sure that we're handling our passes and serve receive. That's always, if you can win the serve receive battle, you're going to win the game. Like, absolutely, it always comes down to that, and so that's going to be a big piece of practice, is making sure that we're trying to receive well against them and getting our hitters the opportunity to put the ball away. I think the biggest thing.
What a great coach, and you understand why this program has done so well under her guidance.
Absolutely. Incredible coach. 100th win last week at the game you missed.
I know. Shame on me.
Absolute blowout if you didn't check the scores.
I did. I saw it. And you know what? Not surprising. Here, the thing about this squad that has, and you noted it last time we were together, is they can kind of take a punch early in the first set, which they seem to do a lot, and it does not faze them at all.
They always rally back. They are a tough team to beat.
So the teams have lined up on either end. Chesapeake in the purple to our right, and New Lex in the orange, which I love, this uniform.
This should be a much more interesting matchup than last week's matchup for New Lexington. These teams have very similar records. It's, I believe, 19-5 or 18-5 for New Lexington and 16-7 for Chesapeake.
That is.
They're both on pretty good win streaks too. 7 for New Lexington, 5 for Chesapeake. But Chesapeake's last 3 wins come against the same team in Ironton. They played them back to back to back. So that skews that win streak a little bit because Ironton's not great. But this should still be a much more interesting matchup than last week.
Oh, I think it's going to be a great matchup. And, you beat a team 3 times. No matter the records, it's tough to meet a team
Absolutely.
3 times in a row.
In their first game against Ironton, or their first match against Ironton, they took them to 5 sets. And then the others, they swept them. So they found them out in their first match, and then it was off to the races.
Adjusted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, again, and New Lex has had a wonderful season.
Yes, I have.
And even in their tough games, in their tough matches, they have still played well, and it's all been entertaining.
Yes.
This season. Well, let's thank a couple of people for getting us on the air tonight here at South 60 Films. First, Seals Flowers and Gifts, locally owned and operated since 1998. They are master florist and designing work. So we hope that you will patronize them again at Seals Flowers and Gifts. Also, PortriatEFX. They provide on-location photography for schools, preschools, youth sports, high school seniors, church directories, and much more. Give them a call, and they'll tell you exactly whether they can help you or not. Work with them, and I'll tell you, you will be benefited greatly. So again, we thank Seals Flowers and Gifts and PortriatEFX. And as a hobby wildlife photographer, I can tell you how good people are.
Yes.
And I've taken a look at what they do, and they are very good. And by the way, I don't know who shot the interview that we just aired a little bit ago, but that was the most expensive lens on that camera. That was a nice-looking interview.
I believe that was Mr. Matt Mihalko himself.
Is that right?
I believe so.
He put out the nice one. So the team's huddled, obviously getting ready to go. You might wonder, that's the Waverly Tiger Paw that's in the middle of the court.
Another reason this matchup should be interesting is because Chesapeake, they kind of match New Lexington in size, but the athleticism isn't quite there for Chesapeake like it is for New Lexington. Their size is a little bit more lower to the ground. They don't get off. They're not as athletic as a Lena Fink or a Chloe Dick.
And there are others for New Lex. That's the thing. The depth,
whole team of athletes.
The depth especially at the net, is really something.
Even Georgia Burkhart, their setter, is an incredible athlete.
Well, and you throw Newland serving,
yes,
off the back, and it's really something. But of course, the first service will be to Addie Wasinski, and a block at the net. It'll go straight down. And that is a good start for New Lex. Kind of get the jitters out. Team that you may not know very well. Wasinski has been so good. This time she'll go a little bit deeper. A tip at the net. Chloe Dick sets it up. Good back row dig from Chesapeake. At the net, Burkhart, good setup in the middle. There's Newland to dig from her libero spot. Another libero save there. Kate Ball is the libero for Chesapeake. In the middle, a little too far, not by much.
That is one of her weaknesses as a player. She is a little too strong at times.
Just didn't hit it at the height of the set.
Yes.
And when you do that coming down just a little bit, you tend to sail it, but it wasn't that far out, so it just takes a little bit of an adjustment.
Yeah, just dial it. She just needs to dial it in.
Aaron Lowe to serve it for Chesapeake. Dies, but there is Newland. Burkhart back set, and again, a little bit too much. Or did it get? No, they're going to say it was tipped.
Yep, I believe they called it a tip.
It was a tip. It did go past the end line, but it was tipped, so point for New Lex. They lead at 2-1.
And interesting for us too is New Lex is playing as the away team here, I believe. Oh nope, they do have them. They have them listed as the home team on the scoreboard.
Chloe Dick the set and a nice
Great
block. That one blocked by Abby Iden. And also, who else is up there at the line? It looks like Zoe Jones on the play. Nicely done by Chesapeake to tie it up at 2.
We've got number 8, Bree Scarberry on the serve.
Dick set up. She'll go down the line this time. Went down the far sideline, and that's what she'll do. She's probably been scouted. She likes to come back across the court on her kill attempts, but every once in a while she'll sneak it in past the line. Newland to serve it. Again, leads this team in aces. Oh, a quick touch across, and you won't see Burkhart do that very much. Just into the tape at the top of the net. We'll come back, and we're tied at 3.
She's usually great at those soft touch, just getting it over the net, catching them off guard. Just a little low on that one.
Abby Iden to serve for Chesapeake. Burkhart back set. There's Chloe Dick, and off the tip. You can tell the force by how high it goes off the tip. And that time she put a lot of oomph in it.
She's so powerful. She's so explosive.
And we'll see now Ava Snedeker, who comes in for Wysinski in their rotation. And touch across from the 10-foot line. Yep. And good save there. And just over the net, there's Chloe Dick to dig. Burkhart back to Chloe Dick. And did it get part of the floor? I think it did.
Yep, I believe they called it on the floor.
Again, we are way up.
We are so far away.
But that's okay, because I'm not going anywhere till it's all over. But sometimes tough to see some of the little nuances down there. And there is the push across. Burkhart with the twisting set. Snedeker drives it over. Kill, and that's out. Another point for New Lex. And their biggest lead of this game. Boy, they're quick down here about putting points up too.
Yes,
6-3.
they are.
Holy smokes. I thought New Lex was fast. Mid-serve that time to the line. And can't quite get
Not
the
quite
pancake set. Carolyn Dupler a dive in. So side out to Chesapeake.
And we saw the opponents of whoever wins this match play in the game before this, the match before this. And Adina won it very handily. So that should be an interesting matchup for either of these teams.
Long serve, that's out of there.
Adina seems, to me, from watching the previous match, to match up well with both of these teams. They're very athletic. They don't quite have the height that a New Lex or a Chesapeake does, but the athleticism, the explosion is there.
Well, let's hope that the Panthers get to that stage. And a really nice attempt by Chesapeake to get it in, but it was just a little bit too much and a little too far away. So Chloe Dick with the point, and she'll serve again. She hits it flat off her palm. The kill, and a one-handed, but nicely done by Chloe Dick. Burkhart saves it for Dupler, and it's in. Hits the line.
For as good as Chloe Dick is on the kill, she also leads this team in digs, and she is a great server.
Yeah, pretty much does it all.
She is very well-rounded.
And you saw it all right there. It was just nicely played. And when you put pressure on with the serve, and not necessarily, you don't have to get all the way out of system, but if you just make it kind of a weak attempt back over, that's just as good.
Yes.
And you can take advantage. And New Lex is really good at that. But that one-arm dig to kind of set up that play shows you all you need to know about Chloe Dick.
That would have tore my arm clean off.
It wouldn't have gone forward. No. The ball would not have gone forward for sure.
The ball would have kept going, and my arm would have went with it.
Again, we want to thank Seals Flowers and Gifts and PortriatEFX for sponsoring our road trip down to Waverly tonight. We'll talk more about them.
And if New Lex wins this game, we should be back here on Saturday.
And unfortunately, I can't be here for that, but anytime I can, I will. Chloe Dick to serve it again. This is her third in a row. Far set, pushed across. Burkhart to the right. Snedeker with a flat-footed attempt, and there's a nicely done at the net by Abby Isaacs for Chesapeake. Again, not the tallest player, but she's got some good hops, and she gets the point there.
New Lex almost got the block there, just not quite enough oomph on it.
Their serving goes into the tape, so make that a 10-5 game.
And this is good for New Lexington because, as we talked about, they usually give up an early lead until they get to about the middle of the first set. But they're already in a pretty decent lead.
And Lena Fink back in there. That, however, was Corinne McIntyre.
Yes.
And she's been kind of a quiet player in all these games, but always effective. Just clears the net. That's 2 aces in a row. In fact, the first game we ever did, we didn't have the right number for her, and I always felt bad about that. So I want to recognize her whenever I can. Again, kind of a mid-serve there. The hit at the net is tipped, and Chloe Dick can't quite get to this one. That was
a little out of her reach.
That was a good hit at the net for Chesapeake. And they will have the serve again. This is Erin Wood who will serve it. Lefty to the middle. Chloe Dick with the dig. Set for Dupler. She goes down the middle. A little push attempt. Snedeker will dig it out, come right back to her. She'll push it across. Can't find any open real estate. The hit and the block in the point. And Fink is there with Dupler. Boy, again, just that hop off the floor is so quick.
She's so fast. And this New Lexington team is so hard to take a run on, and that's what makes them so tough to beat. Once they get flowing, that you can't really make a run on them. You might get 1 or 2 points at a time.
And a benefit there, as Isaacs again, one of the better hitters up front for Chesapeake, gets a piece of the net, which redirected it away from where everybody was expecting it to go. So a point for Chesapeake. Newland. Dick, and Fink tries to find some space across the court. Back line, Newland again with the dig. Dupler tipped at the net, and just say beautiful play.
Absolutely incredible play.
Dick will get the hit. There's the set from Wysinski, and then the block at the net. And I believe that the good play there was from Zoe Jones, who special effort in the midcourt there to keep that one alive. Newland. Burkhart, and a little touch across.
Touch.
A thing of beauty right there by Dupler.
My favorite play in volleyball, the soft touch kill.
And that was measured perfectly just to get over the fingertips of the blocker and then find that space inside the 10-foot line. Block, but stays in the New Lex end, and we're going to get somebody underneath. And I believe we will. In for Chesapeake comes Bree Scarberry. And she will have the serve. Another lefty. We've got a few of those in this match. Dupler. And it's in. That is perfect.
Absolute perfect placement. That's exactly where you want that ball to go. Almost impossible to return.
And that was right. It's a couple of them right in front of the Chesapeake coach, who just kind of turns and goes, my goodness. Newland to serve it. We know how good she is.
Absolutely.
Good dig by Kate Ball, the libero.
On a team full of very good servers, she is the best. So that tells you all you need to know.
All you need to know. With the backwards hit across, and just not able to get there. I think that was McIntyre in the middle.
It's like I was saying, this Chesapeake team needs to go on a run to reduce this lead. But every time they get to serve, they score maybe 1 or 2 points, and then it's back to New Lex, and they're scoring 3.
And then Newland again. Ball with the dig. Chloe Dick will send it over to Burkhart. Back to Chloe
Great
Dick
block.
and a nice block at the net. That one coming from Zoe Jones. So 16-10, the lead with New Lex in this tournament game. Good serve to the back row, right at the net, tipped over and in. Boy, that's one of those, if it's 1 inch one way or the other, you're going to have an advantage, and New Lex took advantage. We're going to get Snedeker back in, replaces Wysinski. That's the typical rotation. Wysinski will come back in to serve here in a bit, or maybe even the next game. Good set to the opposite side. Chloe Dick able to get it in the middle. Set up for McIntyre, who just puts enough speed on it that no dig possible in the middle. And we're going to get a quick timeout on the floor. 18-10, Pickerington, or I'm sorry, here at Waverly. They've got the Tigers. I've got Pickerington in my head. And New Lex, and again, just a little bit, Marcus, you just don't know. I mean,
Yes.
at the beginning of any game, now you know how it's probably going to finish in what it takes. But again, but New Lex didn't even wait tonight.
No, and they didn't in their last match either. They really seemed dialed in for playoff volleyball because they got off to the races last week and they haven't slowed down since.
You know what? And I interviewed a high school basketball coach today that will be going into the Hall of Fame. We have that on our site up at C-Bus Sports. And one of the things he talked about was that any season is a marathon, not just a career, but
Yes.
a season is. And you can see that the coaching combined with the players' effort, they're peaking at exactly the right time. And there's an ace right off the bat.
You want your season to be a build-up to the playoffs. You don't want to kill your players in the season. Phil Jackson with the Lakers did that for Shaq early or later in their tenure together. He would build him up early in the season so that by the playoffs he wasn't beaten down, and it gave them a three-peat.
And we're seeing that tonight. Burkhart gets the point. She'll serve again. Another one of the lefties on the floor tonight. Chesapeake, and a big left-handed swing at it by Wood, but again, hits the tape and falls back her way, and that'll put New Lex within 4 of winning this first set. Burkhart, little knuckleball, and despite the effort of Kate Ball, the libero, that ball did not get back over the net or set itself up for an attack.
Those serves are so hard to return when there's no spin on that ball.
I caught some knuckleballers in my day. I can tell you what that's like. It's not fun. And that one is just out.
Yep.
Another point for New Lex. Yeah, they used to tell you the best way to catch a knuckleball is pick it up when it stops rolling.
Yes.
And again, just good serves here.
I don't remember the man's name, but there was a catcher in the major leagues who made his entire career catching one pitcher's knuckleball because nobody else could do it except him.
Well, and the glove you use is so big and flat. Anyway, set point, more important. And the block will get it for New Lex. 25-10 is our score. And New Lexington goes up 1-0 over Chesapeake and really just ran away.
Yes, and that's what you see with this New Lexington team. They always speed up in the middle of the set. So it was, 10-6 at the midpoint of the set, finished 25-10.
Yeah, and really in this one, there were some great hits and some great digs and sets. However, the serving seemed to really set New Lex up in this one across the board.
That's what it was last week as well. New Lex, every time they got the serve, they would serve 7 times. And Eastern Brown couldn't do anything to compete with it.
Well, and that just wears you out.
Exactly.
I mean, mentally, if you're the team that can't get it back over the net. And there's such a variety of serves coming over that what are you going to do?
Right.
Well, let's again thank our sponsors tonight. PortriatEFX. They provide on-location photography for a lot of different businesses and charities and schools. So if you have a youth sports league or high school seniors or a church directory, you really ought to give PortriatEFX a call or look them up on the website. Get in touch with them because they do all of that at a cost that you will like. And also we thank Seals Flowers and Gifts, locally owned and operated since 1998. Master florists and designers. Again, that's Seals Flowers and Gifts. So one set in the books here, 25-10. And again, we are at Waverly in tournament play. Although it's nice to kind of have the splash of orange in the middle of the floor.
It almost feels like we're still in New Lexington.
Exactly. And again, treated well here and playing some of my generation's music, so we like that a lot. Actually, this was kind of the arena stuff when I started broadcasting. This is one of those songs.
Yeah.
But a great, great effort. And again, I think you said it right, Marcus, that this is just going to be a they've just peaked in a way that you can just tell they're ready.
Exactly.
Chesapeake will have the serve to start this second set. It'll be Aaron Lowe, one of the few right-handed players, I think, in this contest tonight. Chloe Dick at the net, and the 1 inch went her way that time because it just helped her get it in a place where it couldn't be returned. Boy, those balls that are right at the top of the tape, you just never know.
No, you don't.
Wysinski comes in to serve. Middle set, pushed across the top. Burkhart will set it up for Dupler. She goes cross court, and a very familiar result.
Wysinski herself also a knuckleball server.
And she's kind of that designated, that's what they want her for. Although she's really good at setting as well. This one just crawls over the top of the tape.
Her and Georgia Burkhart are very similar players in their skill sets. Just Wysinski seems to focus a little bit more on the serving side of the ball, and Burkhart more on the setting.
Good play by Chesapeake there to get the point. Let's see if they change their approach here in the second set after falling in the first. Bray Scarberry on the serve. Burkhart sets it up, and just getting in there again is Dupler. She's got like radar about, kind of a GPS about where people aren't.
She has great vision.
Let's go with that. That sounds way better. But she does, and you can see here in their first two kills that she just found places where they weren't. Back row serve, a good one. And nothing to do but underhand it over, set up in the middle, and that is Fink driving it across.
New Lexington has been doing something interesting with their starting lineups each set. Instead of starting Chloe Dick in this hitter spot, they start her on the back line and then move her into this hitter spot, even though this lineup in the front is generally their best lineup, with Burkhart as the setter, Fink as the blocker, and Dick as the hitter. So when they get after that their first service, they're set up perfectly to take advantage.
And there you saw Chloe Dick, nice play at the net for the point. And that will be too deep. She's a good hitter, Abby Isaacs, for Chesapeake, but that one a bit long. And again, just got it a little bit on the way down. So Dupler to serve for the Panthers. Back row. And this one, again, out of system across. Burkhart, short set, but just took the leap a little early. And Fink could not get it. We were all waiting to see where that was going to go, and she just got to leap a little early based on what was set. So 6-2. Iden serving for Chesapeake. And out of system this time for New Lex. The push across. Dupler. Fink. And this one will be just a little long from Chloe Dick.
When it does that, just reach over
makes it 6-3. So a second serve coming to Iden. To the corner, Newland. Burkhart, Chloe Dick, and she'll go down the line she's on. Again, everybody anticipating on the Chesapeake side that she would go cross court.
Another interesting thing about this new Lexington team, maybe not interesting, but another good thing, a positive about them, they make very few errors on the serve and into the net. I believe last week in last week's playoff game, they made 4 total errors in the entire match.
No, I think that is really interesting because that you're not beating yourself. Chloe Dick, something happened
yes,
earlier.
A whistle was blown. I'm not sure what's being called.
Let's wait and see. It will go to Chesapeake,
Yeah,
so
I'm not
make
sure
it
what they
7-4 as they
I don't
make a little bit of a comeback here.
I don't know if it was 4 hits or if they had the ball a little too long. I couldn't quite tell what
we didn't see the signal.
linesmen were signaling.
Lila Ferguson on the serve this time for Chesapeake. This one has to come across. Burkhart, far side. Dick, and a good dig out of there. Good play by Chesapeake to keep it alive. Burkhart, a close set to McIntyre, and she nails it. There was just, didn't matter if you knew where that one was going. It was just a great serve. And the blockers had started to move cross court to the backside, but instead it was just a short serve, or short set right in front of Burkhart, who serves it now. Now want to go into the net, but a nice save out of the net. That's a tough thing to do.
Yes, it is.
McIntyre, and after just killing one in all senses of the word, she now touches that across for the touch kill and makes it 9-4. Burkhart again with the serve. And tipped at the net, but set in the back row. Cross court it goes, and this time Chloe Dick goes cross court. Then I think the thing right now, Marcus, is that you're not able to anticipate where the ball's going off any particular player at the net.
Because they're so good at hitting it everywhere on the floor. And I think what you're also seeing is what I spoke about earlier, the distinct athletic advantage that New Lexington has. Their explosiveness, their power hitting that ball. It's just hard to keep up with. And then when they mix in those soft touches, it throws you completely off balance.
Do we have, I'm not sure what we had at
I believe we have a twisted ankle.
Oh, I'm sorry, I just didn't see it from my angle. Someone is down, the trainer coming out. I'm not sure, I think that would still be a point, but more important, let's see how this young lady is doing.
They're working on her ankle, so I'm guessing she just caught her toe on the floor or something of that sort.
First of all, if I had to play volleyball, which I did not, the ups would be measured by pieces of paper, and I would still hurt myself. It's remarkable to me how these young ladies in this case, and then you go on up into college and now the new pro league in the country, but of course a team in Columbus, the Columbus Fury.
Very excited for that new pro league.
But if you watch them and the athletic abilities, and I wrote a column about this a while ago on CBS Sports about how can you not be a sports fan to watch these folks. I mean, it is ballet and chess.
Yes,
and
it is incredible.
War games all built into one.
It is.
And unfortunately, Aaron Wood, a very good player for this Chesapeake team, is going to walk off gingerly. Let's hope they can find a way to get some heat or ice or whatever is appropriate to get her back out there, because she is a stalwart.
She is.
On this Chesapeake team.
I believe she led the team in something. I don't remember what off the top of my head now. I did not take note of it, but she's a very important player on this team.
And, of course, head coach Jamie Shields out there to help her to the bench. And let's see what the call will be. And it is a point for New Lexington, so it is 11-4 now.
And a thing I spoke about last week that is coming up now again. These Chesapeake girls, they are playing like they're not giving up despite the deficits they're in.
No.
And we saw that last week too with Eastern Brown. Despite they lost every set by double digits, they didn't break 10 a single time. but they never for a second stop playing, and that's a sign of a great coach. Even if you don't necessarily have the personnel to compete right now, if you have that level of coaching, you're going to be tough to beat eventually.
Absolutely. And there we see Ava Snedeker drive the kill to make it 13-4. No, you said that exactly right, Marcus. It's when you have good coaching, you know, you're coaching as much for the underclassmen this year
Yes.
to play well next year. You're always teaching. And a touch is blocked. Wow, that's getting up in the air right there to make that block.
Speaking of coaching for the younger people, something that New Lexington does is they're teaching their kids very early to play the systems of their high school teams. So the coaches board each have kids as young as 4th graders running their strategies, running their offenses in the football sense. And and that's the reason that these teams are consistently so good year in, year out. And that's why Mrs. Board here got her 100th win last week in just, I believe, 6 years as a coach.
Now, Coach Board is outstanding, and these girls are lucky to have her there. New Lex is lucky to have that family connected with.
Absolutely.
With New Lexington. But you know what you hope for is that people buy in and are enthusiastic.
Yes.
And you know, we were there for the youth night that they had, and you could just see it in the youngest of the young out there.
Right.
They were ready to go.
Yeah, and you can tell that all these girls love playing together. They have so much fun with each other, and if your team's having fun, your team's winning. Generally.
Well, they were just dancing in the huddle.
Exactly. They have so much fun together, especially in a game like this where they're leading.
Burkhart with another serve in this string. And
I believe we had a player go under the net.
Yeah,
there.
we did. So another point for New Lex, up 15-4. And another one from Burkhart. This one to the middle of the middle. They hit a cross, and that was a good one.
Bit of miscommunication there.
Aaron Lowe gets the kill for Chesapeake. And that will send Abby Isaacs to serve it. And you're right, they are not letting up. Burkhart, nice set. And if that's in, and I don't believe it is.
I believe they called it out.
I think that ball must have seemed like a beach ball to Chloe Dick the way it was set, because it was perfect.
Yes, it was.
She tried to get it right on the near sideline.
I believe she got it just on the outside of the line from our vantage point, but it is hard to see.
Good dig set up in the middle for McIntyre. Another good hit, but nicely saved and put in play by Chesapeake.
That's
Chloe
Abby
Dick
Isaacs.
This time, and again, they're able to get it across and get the point. Nice play by Chesapeake that time to thwart a couple of kill attempts and end up getting the point. So again, it'll be Isaacs to serve. This one gets the benefit of the tape and falls in there. No athlete is going to play it off the tape.
Never.
Instinctively.
No.
You're looking for the coming across ball.
It's so tough to return those in any sport of this sort. Tennis, pickleball, what have you, ping pong.
Exactly.
Any sport like this, it is so hard to return those shots that hit the top of the net and just trickle over.
Well, Chloe Dick has had enough. And we're going to get Abby Denny,
quick break,
the senior, into the lineup.
Coach Board pulled her out at about this same time in their last match as well. And traditionally what we see when Chloe Dick sits down is teams can start going on runs a little bit more.
But she's right back in.
But like I was saying, like traditionally when Chloe Dick is sitting, especially when her and Lena Fink are both sitting, teams tend to take a little run.
Two very good players.
Absolutely.
Dupler just a little low on the kill attempt. And we should note, again, just talking about Abby Denny, she played mostly JV this year, but she is a good one. And back row, it goes from Dupler. A middle hit will go out, and 17-10 now. We'll get Fink back in for Newland. That's a typical rotation. You don't let that libero get to the front row.
Yes.
Chesapeake setting the far side.
It's interesting the difference that the different role that the libero plays in high school, because in college and in professional volleyball, they're not allowed to serve either.
Right. And
But
go ahead, I'm sorry.
On this team, their libero is also their best server.
Yeah. So it's good. Something tells me if they had that rule, they wouldn't make her the libero.
Right,
She'd be something else.
I believe her and Wysinski maybe switch.
Yeah.
But Wysinski is also an incredible server, so what could you do?
Yeah, there's who knows. So 18-10.
Right on the line.
And that's an ace. Not even an attempted return. And 19-10.
Yeah, that's something that you don't want to see out of your players. You want to see them at least run for it.
Yeah.
And
give it a really close look if
Yeah.
you think. Yeah. But
You don't-
McIntyre's done. I tell you, McIntyre's had a really solid match tonight.
Yes, she has.
And off the net, creeps across. Snedeker with one hand, Dupler off the net, and gets the point. Well, you know things are rolling when you make those plays. Snedeker kept it alive, and then Fink at the net just kind of rolled it over, and it literally rolled over the tape.
You almost feel bad for Chesapeake because they made almost an identical play, but didn't score off of it.
Yep. No, it was indeed. Cross court it goes, but there's Burkhart to get it. Set for Snedeker. Back row it goes. And the block at the net, but there is somebody got underneath, I believe. Yep. So it's going to go. I think Snedeker got under.
I believe so. I couldn't quite tell which of them did, but
I thought I saw 4 go up as the end of her number. So 2011. Burkhart gets the set. And there's Newland to dig it. Burkhart sets it up, back set to Snedeker. There's Newland again, nice set, or nice dig to get that out of there. And back row, goes in a one arm across. Chesapeake, a nice job. And then a quick twist on the touch across.
Burkhart is so good at making those little touch shoves across look like she's setting the ball up.
Dick from the back row. Burkhart sets up Snedeker. And a nice attempt on the dig for Abby Isaacs, who is fifth gear all the time for this Chesapeake team, but finds some empty space without going over the net. Snedeker out. Guess who's in? Wysinski to serve it, with her team up 21-11. Good serve. And nice kill by Zoe Jones, as Dick could not make the one-handed save on that one. And going back to serve will be Bree Scarberry. Good knuckleball. Burkhart will set it up in the middle. And, yep, somebody got across. I think Dupler may have.
Yes, I believe it was Dupler.
And she knew it. She kind of turned around, mad at herself.
She gave a little face.
So 21-13. New Lex needs 4 more to win the second set. They won the first one. And the touch across. Nicely done. Kind of a change-up, if you want to make it akin to a baseball pitch from Lena Fink. 22-13. Dupler the serve. And just a miss hit.
Sounded like she got her finger stoved on it.
And
that is the worst.
But she does not, and it was Bree Scarberry, but she did not look as though it was painful in any way.
Yeah.
And this time Scarberry just can't handle the knuckleballs that comes across, and we're at set point for set number 2. Again, New Lex won the first one 25-10. They lead this second set 24-13.
But to continue your change-up analogy, it's so tough to play off of those balls that where like you don't know what speed it's going to come at you.
Yep, and you don't anticipate it.
Exactly.
But just like that, New Lex gets the set point, and they've won 2 here out of the 2 played. 25-12 is the final. And again, this New Lex team came out of the gate hot and have not slowed down.
No,
now,
they have not.
if they win, if they get another set before the night is over, they will play on Saturday and will play Adena.
Yes.
And that game is at?
I believe game is at 2:30.
Right around 2:30.
Yes.
You want to check. We'll have it for you right here on South 60 Films. I, unfortunately, will not be here, but Marcus will
I will.
take us home. And I will look forward to hopefully getting a chance to watch a little bit. I'll be at Ohio Wesleyan doing a football game up there. But I kind of wish I were here because I've followed this team during this season, and it has been a blast because a lot of talent.
They're so fun to watch. They're so athletic, so explosive. Like they're just very entertaining to watch.
And I don't think it's going to, this isn't like a do or die this year. They're going to, they lose 2 seniors.
I believe they're going to make a deep run this year. I believe they could even win state this year. And then next year they're having all their best players except for Wysinski come back.
Right, and it's Wysinski and Denny who will go. Yes. Denny is a role player with this team. Wysinski, as we've seen her kind of a halftime in terms of her serve and setting ability when she's on the back line. And some good, digs too. But in terms of the people at the net, they're all back.
Exactly.
And they will only be able to jump higher and faster.
Yes.
So, there you go. Hey, we want to thank again Seals Flowers and Gifts, locally owned and operated since 1998. Master florists and designers. Also PortriatEFX. Look, if you're looking for on-location photography for schools, preschools, high school seniors, youth sports, church directories, you'd just be silly not to get a hold of PortriatEFX. We hope that you will do that. So, Marcus, 2 sets in the books. You would think that unless somebody's over there counting chickens, that we would see a similar trend coming up.
What we did see last week is in the final set, New Lexington, they had some of their JV players in. They had Layla Baker, who's a great player. She's a
very good player.
She's basically a mini Chloe Dick. She has all of the same skills as Chloe Dick does, just she's younger, but she's going to grow into that. And the one you talked about earlier, whose name I have forgotten.
Abby Denny.
Yes.
And there's a serve. Wysinski right back at it in this one, and an ace.
And they played a little bit more lackadaisical in the final set. They were, I think they were.
You're young. The experience
exactly.
level,
They were looking forward to the next game because it was a foregone conclusion by that point. And they still only gave up, I believe, 8 points in that set.
Burkhart middle, touch across by Dupler. I'm sorry, by Fink. Newland, a great one-arm dig, but nobody could get it on the line, and we're tied at 1. I would be thinking about where I was going to dinner.
Yes.
So that would be the distracting part for me. In fact, I'm thinking about my dinner on the way back. And a fake on the kill. That was fun to watch from Burkhart. Instead, it was Fink. Newland one arm, and there's Dupler to send it across, and a good one to the back row. And into the net, Abby Isaacs. What you see a lot, too, is when you get to the third set, your legs are not what they were to begin with, and you need those to get that kill across. So you'll see that more and more often as the game progresses, and that one will go out off Dupler's serve.
One thing that I've noticed, again, about this New Lexington team, too, is despite their explosion, they don't seem to fatigue the way a lot of more explosive players generally do. They seem like they keep their pop as long as they keep playing.
Yeah.
They are just the athleticism is crazy on this team.
And there's another point.
We haven't gotten to see them go past the third set personally, because they're so good. But looking at their statistics earlier, I believe they're undefeated in 5th sets. So
wow.
they keep that skill, that athleticism going deep into the match.
And that also talks about training. Chloe Dick there with the kill. Yeah, if you're well conditioned, then you're going to win those late battles for sure. Snedeker in, Wysinski out. We'll see Wysinski again here in a minute. She comes in to serve if we get that far. Burkhart to serve it. Back row it goes.
And that pairing of Wysinski and Snedeker as effectively two sides of the same coin is such a good way to play them. Snedeker using her height, her strength, her athleticism at the net, and then Wysinski in the back with her digs and her sets and especially her serving. It's beautiful volleyball.
We saw Snedeker on the block with McIntyre last point. Here's Chloe Dick, and I think odds are with that set just in front of her and timed up well, there's little chance it's going to be returned. So
you have to get your arms on it just perfect, and then they sting for a little bit after.
Burkhart hits the top of the tape and falls back. So 6-4 it is. Lila Ferguson to serve it. Chloe Dick to mid-court. Deep. Burkhart saves it. This one's got to go across. And Newland does that. Set up in the middle, the touch, and just not enough oomph. And I think it's intimidating when you go up to try to do that. There's two blockers right there.
And they're so imposing.
And that's McIntyre and Snedeker at the net, and Dupler up on the front line as well.
Coming up to the net against Snedeker, against Fink, against Chloe Dick. It's like walking into this gym and seeing this extremely tall set of bleachers.
Yeah, you just can sigh. A block, and Burkhart couldn't quite get there. So 7-5. Chesapeake hanging around. Back in for Chesapeake is Addison Lovely.
And this is New Lexington's worst start of the match so far.
And this one will sail wide. Actually long past the baseline.
We're seeing the pattern that I talked about from last match appearing again. They're playing a little bit more loose. They're making more faults, and like you said, fatigue could play a role, and I also think it's just they stopped taking the other team as seriously.
Yeah, you do lose a little bit of a competitive edge,
yes.
No doubt. And Dupler, and that one's just out as she tried to go down the line. So Chesapeake doing a good job to take advantage of what they can.
One thing you wanted to coach out of your kids is playing to the level of your competition. You don't want to play down. You always want to play at your level and make them meet you.
Another tape serve that falls in there for Zoe Jones. Chesapeake to within a point here in the third set. New Lex won the first two. Snedeker flat-footed hit. Isaac sends it back toward the net, just over. Burkhart will set it up in the middle, and Fink just that time, we saw earlier where she mistimed it, that one was perfect.
Yes, it was.
Wysinski in, Snedeker out. Do you think Snedeker just goes, just let me serve once? No, you're a freshman.
Yeah. Sit down.
Wysinski to the side, the touch across. There's Wysinski to dig it out. Across it goes to Dupler. She goes down the line. There's Isaacs to get it. And the hit will go out. No tip. Point to New Lex.
I would like to see in matches of this sort where New Lex is dominating, I would like to see them give her a chance to serve just because I want to see what she's got.
Yeah, it'd be fun to see.
Yes.
I'm going to guess it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Newland with the dig in the back row. Dupler, the long attempt on the kill, just
a little strong.
A little strong. 10-8. New Lex still with the lead, but again, Chesapeake's kind of found their stride
Yes,
here.
they have.
Chloe Dick.
New Lex making a lot more errors in this set than in the previous two.
And Wysinski will dig it out. Burkhart to the far side to Dupler down the line. Good play by Isaacs.
Dupler jumped a little early on that kill, or she probably would have got the point off of it.
And that kill attempt was long, so 11-8 New Lex. I always want to say in a minute left to go because they just put a minute on the board.
Yeah.
Because that's a timeout length.
Yes, that trips me up every time I look at the scoreboard also.
And that one just didn't know exactly, a little miscommunication at the front. So another point for the Panthers. Yeah, it's easy to do. We're so used to, having our own little,
I'm so used to watching basketball specifically that looking at these scoreboards have just programmed my brain to think basketball.
Because that's what they are. They're a basketball scoreboard. And the flat foot, across it goes. And the quick turn by Burkhart. Chesapeake able to keep it alive. Burkhart this time will set it up. Chloe Dick. And where she set it, there were two players right there, and that might have thrown off the timing a little bit, as both Chloe Dick and Lena Fink were there. So it does sail wide, 12-9.
I believe the set was for Lena Fink. Chloe Dick's angle on it was a little off, and that's why she sailed it out of bounds.
Burkhart back set. Fink, cross court she goes. And arms weren't even on that attempt to set it. And it goes out of bounds, so 13-9. And Newland will serve it. Again, the ace leader on this team. Isaacs across. And Wysinski just didn't want to hurt a teammate coming over there.
Or herself.
Or a coach or herself. And Chesapeake again, 13-9. They get to within 4. Nope, make that 10.
Yes.
The New Lex scoreboard would have had that up way faster. And this hit into the net, making 14-10.
And those are the errors that Chesapeake needs to avoid if they want to try to make a comeback here.
Snedeker in for Wysinski. Burkhart on the serve. This has got to come across. Cross court it goes. Dupler. Burkhart for Chloe Dick goes cross court. There's Isaacs to get the set, and her hit will go out.
That looked like it was kissing the line.
Boy, Isaacs has played well for Chesapeake tonight.
She's a great player.
But 15-10 it is, and that 1 minute will count down on the timeout. So we can actually look at it and tell something by it. Finally. Again, we just want to thank, and because this was all put together in a hurry to make sure that we could continue to bring you New Lex Volleyball. But we do want to thank the very nice support. We hope they stay with us.
Yes.
Because, number one, they're good companies and good folks, but they've allowed us to do this, and we're very appreciative of that.
Absolutely.
PortriatEFX, on location photography that you can look at online for schools, preschools, youth sports, high school, seniors, church directories, and way more than that. So you want to give them a call if you think they could help you. Seals, Flowers, and Gifts, locally owned and operated since 1998, before the Y2K thing was a thing. They are master florists and designers there. We hope that you will find them when you need those services.
Yes. And I hope we can continue coming to these games as long as they keep playing them, as long as we're allowed to continue streaming them.
Well, we know we'll be here Saturday if New Lex can hang on. And again, Chesapeake making it a battle here in the third set after falling in the first two. Newland a quick dive to try to save that one. Lila Ferguson on the serve. Good serve to the middle of the back row. Burkhart back for Chloe Dick, and the block finds space inside the baseline. And another point for Chesapeake to within 3. Another good serve. Newland had to go to a knee to grab it. The hit is right back. Chesapeake time to set it up. And miscommunication in front. There were two players there. And what you need there is a little bit of an aggressive position.
And you hate to see that after such a great play at the net.
They have been playing well this set.
Yes, they have.
Chloe Dick to serve it.
They just really need to start going on runs, because you can't trade with this New Lexington team. You're always trading them 3-1 if you're going back and forth.
Burkhart back set for Snedeker. The defense had moved the other way, and Snedeker found room on the near side. Makes it 17-12. And she really doesn't even have to jump all that much.
No.
And she stands 6'3", so you don't have to work that hard. But she does have ups, so that'll be even scarier as
Yes.
she gets older, just
And
a freshman.
Based on the way she's built, I believe she's going to continue growing.
So I think that'll be a lot of fun to watch again. Just a freshman, Ava Snedeker.
When I first saw her listed on the roster, the first game we did, I thought it was a mistake, because they had not taken the floor yet.
Yeah.
And then when she came out, I was like, oh.
That's her. Yep. Dupler to Burkhart. There's Snedeker again. This time Chesapeake able to save and keep it in play. And this one will go out.
Yep.
A little wide, but not by much at 18-13.
Tough to see from up here, but to me it looked like it stayed in.
No question by Chesapeake team. Newland out, Fink in. Back set, and good block, but it'll stay on New Lex's side as both Fink and Dupler went up on that one. Just left a little bit of room between the net and their block. Good serve, Chloe Dick, Burkhart. And not able to make the playoff. Dupler's hit, and another point for New Lex. And we're going to get, we didn't get our wish this time, Wysinski. Not that we don't want Wysinski to play.
Yes.
We're just interested.
Mm-hmm.
We're interested observers. We know Wysinski will do well. We're
Yes.
not concerned about that.
We know she's a very good server.
And may have had,
I believe we were
kind of waiting. The libero on the Chesapeake side, Kate Ball, they're kind of looking. Oh, it must be her shoes
I
they're
believe her shoe
concerned
was
about.
slippery.
But she will come in now. Somebody's got to come off there.
She must have stepped in some water.
Yep, Zoe Jones. So the official noticed it quickly, and we're all good now. And you'll notice that the libero does not have to check in. They just run in and send somebody out. And they can also be sub-4 without checking in. The set by Ferguson, and the hit across is a beauty. 19-15. Aaron Lowe to serve it now.
Chesapeake, they are overmatched, but they came to play. They didn't come over. They didn't come out here to roll over.
Isaacs gets the dig and the hit down the line. Newland's right there. Beautiful job. Burkhart will touch it across. This one has to come over. It does. Wysinski, Burkhart in the middle. Fink. And that was just self-protection.
Yes, it was.
By Aaron Lowe. Makes it 20 to 15.
That's probably what I would look like out there.
And if you Newland, the back row, Burkhart for Chloe Dick. Down the line she comes. Nice play, but I think that's going to be a held ball. It is. There's a little too much time on the hands by Addison Lovely.
But it must be so scary for these girls looking down the barrel of Lena Fink or Chloe Dick Kill, because there's so much like velocity on them.
The ace from Dupler makes it 22-15. And you might be wondering why we don't say the nickname of Chesapeake. They are also the Panthers.
Yes.
And it would just be confusing, so we just called them Chesapeake tonight. Twisting touch across by Burkhart. Wysinski, the dig. Burkhart.
Those twisting touches, she gets a few of those basically every set, and that takes a lot of body control.
Oh my gosh, and can be painful if you
Yes.
try it in your older age. And there is a hit cross court by Chloe Dick, and we are a couple of points away here from the match being settled.
And we saw again a mid-set rally by New Lexington where it's close when you get to like like that 30 total points range, 20 total points range, and then by the end of the match, they're up 10.
And that, with the benefit of the tape, rides the net across court and falls in for the point. And that was Addison Lovely who got it to go. Back to serve, Bree Scarberry. 23-16 is the score. Wysinski digs. There's Fink on the hit. A long hit that time by Chesapeake. And the touch across, and a nice one on the block. Well executed by Lila Ferguson.
That's a great play at the net, and that's how you need to beat this New Lexington team. You have to beat them at the net, or you're not going to have a chance.
And Ferguson, a good job to get up off the floor and make that play. Wysinski. Cross it goes to Chloe Dick. Didn't quite get all of it on the kill attempt. This time it'll be Chloe Dick again. Was it in? No,
Yeah,
just out. And that was by an eyelash. But here comes Chesapeake, 23-18, as
they're making it interesting. They're not, like I said, they're not rolling over for them. They are here to play till the end.
Scarberry's been successful in this string. Here's Fink. Good save, but
Just a little out of reach.
And touch back by Lena Fink. And again, that's one where it kind of stayed in system, but just not enough oomph, and Fink made him pay.
And
so,
she, like you like to talk about, she gets up there so quick. Like,
match set, match point.
You don't always expect somebody to be there that quickly when the balls come in.
Chloe Dick, and it just is safe. Got to get this one across. Burkhart will set it back, set it for McIntyre. Chesapeake hanging in there on match point. Chloe Dick, and that was perfect. And that one will be dug out but into the stands, and that will do it. Chesapeake got better in each set, scoring more points, but just could not hang tonight with New Lex, who Marcus just got going early. And
they're just so tough. Even when you beat them early, they usually end up winning. So when they start off hot, there's almost nothing you can do.
Well, tonight it is 3-0. So the Panthers, the New Lex Panthers, will go on to play Adena this Saturday. And we will have it for you here. We're going to thank one more time, because we are, again, thrilled that they were generous enough to include us in their ad buys, and that is Seals Flowers and Gifts, Master Florists and Designers, and PortriatEFX. So much on-location photography. I'll bet you if you do something at your place and need a picture, they can do it. You know what? I'm going to let you take us out tonight, because you will be back here on Saturday.
I will.
I'm Kevin Rao, and I was thrilled to be here and call this tonight because, again, just so much fun. Yes. And I would tell you, if you have a chance Saturday, come down and watch this team. Yes. It's going to be a good match against Adena.
They are so fun to watch in person.
So there you go. I'm going to let you take us out tonight. Thanks, Marcus.
Join us again on Saturday. Join us on Friday for the football game. We're not quite sure which one yet. We're hoping for it to be New Lex Sheridan. Rivalry game, always a fun watch. But especially join us on Saturday to support this volleyball team. If you can make it down here, it's a pretty far drive from our area, but it's a wonderful facility. They're always fun to watch. And I believe that's it for us tonight. From South 60 Films, I'm Marcus McPeck, my partner Kevin Rao. Have a good night.